What is communitarian law? Communitarian law is a new legal system used by regional and local governments affiliated with the emerging global government. Communitarian law was created to sidestep national law by way of programs designed to balance community rights with individual rights. Communitarian law courts circumvent constitutional protected rights to rule in favor of the community in the name of social justice. Communitarian law is a three-tiered system from the top down. 1. International communitarian law enforced by international courts of justice. 2. Regional communitarian law enforced by regional parliaments. 3. Local communitarian law, community development, public-private partnerships, and local Agenda 21 plans. Communitarian law is more often called community law. It's the type of law that limits personal property rights for the greater good. Community rights are typically decided by a small group of self-appointed leaders that come to an agreement on what is best for the environment, with the definition of community being everything from a small village to the entire world. How do we know if a law is communitarian? If your national or local lawmaker passes a law that balances individual rights against community rights, it's a communitarian law. Laws that include victimless crimes, mandatory safety laws, public health, and environmental laws are communitarian laws. Words like environment, economy, economic, equity, climate, social, governance, and community are all terms that identify communitarian laws. All laws written for safety and security are communitarian. The international term for community law is acquis communautaire and is currently the highest form of law in the European Union. All current trade agreements between the U.S., Mexico, Canada, Central, and South Americas are modeled after established European communitarian law. NAFTA, CAFTA, and other U.S. free trade agreements are designed to balance the rights of individual citizens in each participating nation against the rights of developers rebuilding sustainable communities. These free trade agreements are specifically designed as communitarian legal arrangements that trump federal, state, and local laws and constitutions. Communitarian laws always rule in favor of the private corporations and NGOs that are compliant with sustainable goals. The UN declarations like the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and Declaration on the Right to Peace are communitarian law. For Americans, the adoption of these international communitarian laws removes us from the constitutional system of protected rights to the ever-evolving principles of social justice. The definition of social justice is constantly changing and can only be defined by those that declare themselves more moral and advanced, like upper-level academics. Communitarian law should be considered as global law, and as such, it can easily defeat anyone arguing their case and using U.S. constitutional law. The Communitarian Foreign Policy by Amitai Etzioni's abstract from 2014 clearly defined his Fabian tactic of gradualism, of breaking apart complex policy goals into small, discrete steps in both international and domestic programs. His foreign policy perspective has been formed in part of U.S. debates for over the last 50 years. Dr. Etzioni can sound utterly reasonable while he is presenting and openly admits to shaming people into submission. Communitarianism is not voluntary but coercive in its very design, and those laws are in place to guarantee acceptance. According to researcher Nikki Rapana, quote, Talmudic law forms the foundation for communitarianism, unquote. A researcher and retiree living in Texas, Lark in Texas, states, communitarianism is, quote, tyranny with a smiley face, unquote. Both Nikki and Lark agree. Communitarian law is reinventing government as it dissolves all nation-states in favor of regional and international legal authority over all individuals, their property, and their nations. Do you notice any communitarian laws being instituted in your local community?
I think Japan is the place to look. In Japan, the government role was actually minimal, but they have a very strong social fabric. They're very communitarian, if you want to use that term. And as a result, once the government explained what needs to be done, people, by and large, did it voluntarily. They shamed some people, which is we don't like to do, but it's a very communitarian way. In the end, leave the decision to the person being shamed, but it tells you what society expects of you. So, and again, no, they did not do perfectly because the pandemic is so vicious. It breaks all barriers, and by the way, it's also back in China. But the model we should look for is in New Zealand and Japan,